The attraction. Attraction is not a decision. It is a recognition. Something about this specific person, their energy, the way they move, a quality in how they speak, registers in your nervous system before your conscious mind has even processed what is happening. You were not looking for it, but something stopped you anyway. What makes attraction interesting is that it is rarely about surface appearance alone. Research consistently shows that what we call physical attraction is heavily influenced by unconscious signals, the sound of someone's voice, the way they carry themselves, the specific quality of their attention when they are engaged in conversation. We call it chemistry. What it actually is, your nervous system recognizing compatibility signals before your brain can articulate them. The attraction stage is short but essential. It is the door. Nothing else in this list happens without it. But attraction alone is just a door, and a door is not a relationship. What comes after is what determines whether this moment becomes something that matters or just a memory of someone you once noticed across a room. The mistake most people make is confusing the intensity of attraction with the depth of connection. They are not the same thing. Attraction is the opening sentence. It is not the story. The curiosity. The curiosity stage is where attraction becomes something with direction. You are no longer just drawn to this person in a general way, you want specifics. What do they think about things that matter? What made them who they are? What are they afraid of? What do they love so much it embarrasses them slightly to say it out loud? This is the stage most people describe as their favorite, the early conversations that last longer than they were supposed to, the texting that starts casual and becomes something you look forward to all day, the feeling that every new thing you learn about this person makes you want to know more rather than less. The questions compound. The interest deepens. You are building a picture of someone, and the picture keeps getting more interesting the more detail you add. What is actually happening neurologically is significant. The brain's reward center is activating in response to new information about a person it has flagged as important. Learning more about them triggers dopamine release, which is why curiosity at this stage can feel genuinely addictive. You are not being dramatic. Your brain is producing a chemical reward every time you discover something new about them. The curiosity feels good because biologically it is supposed to. The infatuation. Infatuation is the stage that gets romanticized the most and understood the least. Songs are written about it. Films are built around it. And for good reason, it is one of the most intense human experiences available to us. The person is everywhere in your mind. You replay conversations. You check your phone more than you ever have. You find yourself smiling at nothing in public and having to explain yourself. What is happening chemically is almost identical to what happens in the brain under the influence of cocaine. The same dopamine pathways, the same reward loops, the same compulsive return to the source of a pleasure. This is not poetic exaggeration. Brain imaging studies of people in early infatuation show activation patterns nearly indistinguishable from addiction. You are not being irrational. You are temporarily operating under the influence of your own neurochemistry. The danger of infatuation is not that it is intense. The danger is that it is not discerning. The brain in infatuation is not evaluating clearly. It is experiencing a flood of reward chemicals that make this specific person feel irreplaceable and perfect. They are not. No one is. Infatuation is a spotlight, not daylight. It illuminates beautifully, but it does not show you everything. The stages that follow are where you find out who you actually fell for. Stage 4. The anxiety. The anxiety stage arrives when infatuation produces its natural consequence, vulnerability. You have let yourself care. You have let yourself want something specific. And now, whether you have acted on it yet or not, you are aware of how much this person's response could matter to you. That awareness is terrifying in a way that is completely disproportionate to what has actually happened, because the stakes feel enormous before anything real has even been established. This stage produces the behaviors that people later describe with mild embarrassment. The overanalysis of every text response time, the rehearsed conversations, the inability to behave naturally around someone you were perfectly natural with before you realized you had feelings for them. The confidence you had before you cared disappears precisely because you care. The irony of anxiety in love is that the more this person matters to you, the harder it becomes to show them an authentic version of yourself. What is important to understand about this stage is that anxiety here is not a warning sign. It is evidence that something genuine is happening. You do not feel anxious about things that do not matter. The anxiety is proportional to the investment. The question is not how to eliminate it. It cannot be eliminated. The question is whether you are willing to be seen through it. The vulnerability. Vulnerability is the stage where love either becomes real or remains a performance. Everything before this point, the attraction, the curiosity, the infatuation, even the anxiety, can exist at a surface level. Vulnerability cannot. It requires a specific and deliberate decision to show someone something true about you that you have not shown everyone. A fear, a wound, a failure, an embarrassing need. The version of yourself that exists before you have made yourself presentable for consumption. Most people resist this stage longer than they should because the risk is real. Showing someone who you actually are and having them respond poorly is genuinely painful in a way that rejection of your curated self is not. When someone rejects the performance, you can tell yourself it was not really you they rejected. When someone sees the real thing and still leaves, that lands differently. But here is what vulnerability makes possible that nothing else can: being actually known. Not admired. Not entertained.
Known.
And being known by someone who stays anyway, who looks at the unpolished version and does not flinch, is the specific experience that creates the deepest human bonds. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability is clear. You cannot have genuine intimacy without it. Not because vulnerability is romantic. Because intimacy is only possible between two people who have agreed to be seen. Stage 6. The attachment. Attachment is quieter than the stages that preceded it, which is why people often miss it when it arrives. There is no dramatic moment of realization. You just notice, one day, that this person has become part of the architecture of your ordinary life. You think of them when something happens, not because you decided to, but because they have become the person your mind goes to first. Their presence has become a baseline you did not choose but cannot imagine removing. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and later expanded significantly, describes this as the formation of an emotional bond between two people where each becomes a safe haven and secure base for the other. In practical terms, they are who you want when things go wrong. Their approval matters in a different way than anyone else's approval. Their absence creates a specific absence that other people cannot fill. What distinguishes healthy attachment from the codependency we discussed in an earlier video is independence within the bond. Healthy attachment means you have chosen to make this person central to your life, while remaining a full person outside of them. They add to your life. They do not replace it. The sign that you have reached attachment rather than just infatuation is simple. You're not primarily fantasizing about them anymore. You are just grateful they are there. Stage 7. The comfort. The comfort stage is the one that worries people most because it is so easy to confuse with losing interest. The butterflies have quieted. The obsessive thinking of infatuation has settled. You can be in the same room without performing for each other. You can sit in silence without it meaning something is wrong. And for people who have been taught that the feeling of early love is what love is supposed to always feel like, this quieter version can feel like a loss rather than a deepening. It is not a loss. It is maturation. The neurological explanation is straightforward. The dopamine flooding of infatuation cannot sustain itself indefinitely. The brain develops tolerance, as it does to all sustained stimuli, and the intensity normalizes. What replaces it are the longer-lasting chemical systems, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and vasopressin, associated with sustained attachment. These produce something less thrilling and more durable, the specific warmth of being with someone you genuinely trust. Comfort is where you find out if you actually like this person. Infatuation obscures that question. You cannot see clearly through that much dopamine. Comfort removes the obscuring and shows you who you are with, what you have built, and whether the ordinary days with them are good. If they are, if the Tuesday evenings are something you look forward to, that is the real thing. The choice. Every stage before this one happened to you. This one you make. The choice is the stage most people never name, because the cultural narrative of love is built almost entirely on feeling, and the idea that love at its deepest level is a repeated decision rather than a sustained emotion is uncomfortable for people who want love to be effortless. But every long relationship that works has reached this stage. The feeling comes and goes. Not because the love is unreliable, but because feelings are contextual. They are affected by stress, by health, by conflict, by the accumulation of ordinary days. There are days in every lasting relationship where the feeling of love is not particularly loud. And on those days, what keeps the relationship intact is not emotion. It is the decision that this person, this relationship, this life you have built together is worth choosing again. Even today, even when today is hard. The choice is not resignation. It is not settling. It is the recognition that love at its most mature form is an act of will as much as it is a feeling of the heart. C.S. Lewis wrote, "Love is not affectionate feeling, but a steady wish for the loved person's ultimate good as far as it can be obtained." The feeling brought you here. The choice is what keeps you. 8 stages. You have lived through most of them, some of them more than once. Some of them with the wrong person, which taught you something the right person will benefit from. Tell me in the comments, which stage are you in right now? Or which stage do you miss most? Share this with someone who is in one of these stages and does not have a name for it yet. Subscribe. Next one is coming.